Most people desire to be needed. But Vincent Gressieker says that making yourself obsolete is the key to your success. Now, he's saved hundreds of thousands of pounds to various companies, and he's worked with companies from $50 million to $500 million. And he has advised them on how they can have more productive teams. And he's a consultant, author, founder, investor, and public speaker from Berlin. And he helps his clients integrate people and processes with their organization's purpose to achieve the next cycle of profitable growth. And through his book and his online content, he helps individuals do the same, but on a personal level to achieve career success and personal fulfillment. And this success translates into better economic outcomes for companies and our societies as a whole. And he is also a member of the global Burning Man community, member of the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship, and with a global network of entrepreneurs, executives, artists, policy advisors, journalists, and politicians. Now, the first question I have is, what's the secret to your success?
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu, mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
It's very simple. And first of all, thank you for having me on. It's a privilege. It's very simple. It's the idea that you have to overcome your own ego. And that applies in a sense both for the individual and also for companies. And we can go into that while we talk. It means that you have to reflect upon all the things that you are afraid of doing and all the things that you keep doing that aren't serving you. And when you have that self-awareness and then also are ready to sacrifice these things that you believe about yourself, this is really the key to transforming yourself and achieving success.
That is so interesting. Tell us more about that.
I'd love to. This is what I cover in my book, which I call Work Like a Warrior, because the warrior is the archetype, the archetypal person or being that is willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for the higher purpose. When you take that principle and apply it to yourself, you come to this realization that when you're ready to sacrifice this belief about yourself and all these ideas about perception of other people, what do people think of me? Do they like me? Do these kind of things? This is all not helping you at all. You really need to look at the mission that you're on. What is your calling? What is your purpose? What is it where you want to be and why are you doing it? And when you are clear about these things and you're ready to formulate this path, this is where it is about taking this cold, hard look at your own self, at your own ego, and and being able to be honest with yourself. I can recommend looking at some philosophies around Stoicism here, and also around a quote that I love is from Alexander Solzhenitsyn, a Soviet dissident. He said, "The line between good and evil runs through the heart of every person," which means that you know as a person very well that you are capable of great things, but you also know as a person very well that you're capable of harm and harming yourself as well. And this is in the sense that how to really transform yourself is really critical. You have to be really honest with yourself. Only when you do that, you can relist those things and you can map out, okay, what are the things that I do that are not serving me and that I need to stop, and what are the things that I'm afraid of or that I need courage for, that I want to do. This is really the key. And it also translates actually for businesses. So if you think about the ego of a business means that everything that this company has been doing so far, but the world changes all the time, businesses change and customers' expectations change. So in order to stay profitable and grow, there's an essential element of transformation, which is so much, it's really overlooked. And this is my approach, which I start. It's actually before you actually plan a transformation journey for a business and making it more profitable, you look at all the things that you need to let go first, because otherwise all your employees, they will just be overwhelmed. You will not have the resources to actually go on this journey. So you need to sacrifice. And that's, again, is the same thing. As a person, you need to sacrifice your ideas about yourself, and you need to sacrifice as an entrepreneur the things in your company that are not serving its purpose and its mission anymore.
Thank you. Why does this concept that you created in Work Like a Warrior, why did that impact companies in terms of like saving them £500,000 or whatever amount?
Yes, by all means. So there is, I recommend the book Managing Corporate Life Cycles. It's really excellent, describing the different stages that a company goes through in order to reach really a prime state, where it's profitable and it's growing, and it's a place where the founders and the investors want it to be. So when I actually are hired by my clients to help them, achieve this, this idea of working like a warrior, overcoming the ego and letting go of these things, really comes into play in that I have a method which I call APT: assess, prioritize, and transform. So, of course, in the first step, I look at, okay, what are the things that need to take place to reach the strategy of the company. Then I talk to all the people in the company, including the accountants and the different people on some of the lowest levels of the hierarchy, to really understand what's going on. Then I prescribe the different actions that need to be taken. But here comes the key. Instead of what a lot of consulting companies do, a lot of consultants say is that, well, they only look at what needs to happen in the future and how to plan it properly and how to integrate the systems and all these kind of really good things and important things, which I also do, by the way. But I actually start before I do that. I take a look at and I provide my clients with a clear recommendation of things that they need to let go of, that they need to stop doing. And this is key, and this is a difficult exercise in many cases, because a lot of people are afraid of letting something go. A lot of people are afraid of sacrificing something. The individuals in the company, the employees, sometimes think that they will become obsolete themselves, and then they might lose their job because something is not done anymore. But with the right attitude here, this is actually not the case, because the owners of these companies and the investors, they would like to do more things with less. They don't want to hire new people. They don't want to invest in new systems, ideally. So here's really the key of what I do. I basically take them through, explain to them how they can let these things go, save a lot of time, save a lot of money, and have the employees also develop into new roles. And then you're taking them along. So basically everybody wins. And I can help them, move along this company, saving them, hundreds of thousands of euros or dollars, and really making them successfully much more agile and much more fast and profitable as well.
Thank you. So give us an example of what kind of things are they letting go of?
Yeah, definitely. So, for example, a very easy example is, and I call it in my book, busy is not the same as productive. A very easy example is you need to take a look at your employees' meeting structures. First of all, are they spending time in meetings that have no purpose anymore at all? How many meetings are there? Is there some kind of a structure where you can focus on at what time of the day do we focus on project work, like transformation activities, and where is it just like operational work? Usually this is complete chaos, but it's a huge element in freeing up people's time to actually take them into this project work and let them work on these things that will make this company successful again. This one example. Then there's also for my clients, usually my main clients are fast-growing companies that have reached a certain maturity, though. Maybe let's say 50 million revenue. There comes a point where you need to look at all the things that have been purchased in the past. So computer licenses for software, for example, you need to take a look at it. You need to compare what is going on. Is it actually needed? Because it's very common in early stages of growth, of fast growth, that things are just being bought like left, right, and center. And there needs to be, at this point in time where you need to take a look at that and cut it. There's a famous cook, a Spanish cook, who once said, costs are like fingernails. They just keep growing, and at some point you just have to cut them. And this is also what I do. And last but not least, I really help them to understand where they can improve their financial position by integrating end-to-end processes. End-to-end processes are completely overlooked a lot of times. And one big example is what you call order-to-cash process. So how long does it take, and what are the steps between a customer ordering something from you and the money reaching a bank account? And this kind of lateral, horizontal thinking is often not common in companies, because they think in functions. They think in sales, operations, finance, and then they optimize vertically in these kind of silos. But you need to have this integrator approach to really make this work together.
Thank you. What elements from your book are companies implementing?
So when I work with them, I also coach actually the employees. This is usually informal, but I work with the C-level. I work with the big projects that are transforming the company, and on the lowest level. And I help also the managerial staff, or the managers. I help them identify high potential individuals, and then as I work with them in the project, I enable these individuals as well to follow this advice around letting go of your idea about yourself. This is very common. There could be someone who has been working in accounting for a number of years, and then a person thinks, well, I think they're actually very, very smart, and they can probably do other things as well. So getting this person to really embrace that idea, and this is also a key element here, and also when we are thinking about representation, or also having people who might be less ambitious, or maybe have have this kind of like imposter syndrome, and it has a lot to do sometimes with making sure that, for example, what do we see in terms of gender balances as well? Do we have really the same amount of women also in leadership positions? So this is really, really crucial to see here. Okay, this person has potential. I sit down with them and I take them through some of these exercises and thinking, okay, well, this was in the past. This is how you did it in the past. Let's connect more, this idea of where you want to go with this new role and these activities that this company is really required to do. And then you can really build this wonderful, let's say, plan and journey, again, integrating this person's goals with the goals of the company, and then again everybody wins, because the managers get new people who take on more responsibility. They really start to own things, and it's to the benefit of the people, it's to the benefit of the company.
Thank you. What about for small business? How can entrepreneurs leverage your work like a warrior system in order to benefit their company?
Yes. It's also very similar in small companies. So much is dependent on the founder, on the entrepreneur. And here, more than in other situations, it's extremely difficult that you as an entrepreneur really have that ability to take a really cold, hard look at yourself as a leader, as a manager, and also at how your business is doing and what you want your business to do. And this, how I take you through in my book, through these different chapters and exercises, is really aimed at also helping you letting go of some of the beliefs that you have, some of the misconceptions that you have, and also and then becoming better at prescribing the right actions going forward, and also becoming a better leader for your teams. And maybe a specific example is it's really about, and you can compare it to the book by Jocko Willink called Extreme Ownership. It's really about installing a leadership culture, even if it's a really small company, maybe just a handful of employees. But if you really think about these and embody these concepts, you can build up the people that are working for you much, much faster, and to much more, I would say, success for them as well. And that means that you can actually take a step back from your day-to-day activities and think really strategically and move your business forward. So this is really key to understanding it. And this is what you will find in my approach.
Thank you. You talk a lot about letting go. What do you replace whatever you let go of with?
So, I would say you let go of the behaviors or the conceptions about yourself. So the behaviors that you do that aren't serving your purpose. Let's say you waste a lot of time, with entertainment, or getting involved in issues that might be interesting, but they don't really serve your purpose. So it's really key about these kind of things. There's also sometimes, and I've had this experience myself. I'm a very amiable person. I'm a very amiable guy. So I try to help people. I try to make it right. I want to have harmony in my friendships and my my business and my activities. But this is sometimes very difficult when you have to take some decisions which people might not like. And you need to understand how to get really grounded, that you're able to let go of these kind of things. Yeah? So there's a step again that is really important here. And you replace it by these other behaviors and actions that really transform you into this person that you want to be. And specifically, that means, what are the day-to-day routines that you do? Do you do meditation? Do you get some exercise? Do you have other ways of really getting into a space where you can focus on what's right and not about what's about making other people happy? Because this is impossible, and this will just lead to such a waste of information. And then you replace it with actions and planning and building connections, also with people that really are in alignment with where you want to be and where you want to go as a person and with your business. So this is really what happens there.
Thank you. Tell us about your journey. How did you come up to the conclusion that working like a warrior is the path for entrepreneurs and companies to be successful?
Yeah. So I worked for a really big global consulting company for 15 years. So I've seen many Fortune 500 huge companies from the inside. And I've seen a lot of waste, a lot of inefficiencies, a lot of things that weren't working well. And I noticed at some point that there was a lot of, I would say, politics involved. And politics usually has to do with ego. So when a company gets big enough, there is a risk that people become, instead of realizing that if they want to be successful, properly, as I say also in my book, they do not know this concept that they need to make themselves obsolete to be really successful. Meaning that let's say you want to have a career and you focus on certain tasks and you bring this forward, and then you hand it over to the next junior person and you can focus on more bigger tasks. So I saw this a lot, and it was my intent to figure out what was really going on and getting really, really deep into this in this psychological level. So that was my intent. But I also had this personal journey. So where I worked on these projects sometimes where the way that it was set up, it was really not going to work for the client. And then I ended up in these frustrating situations where I was, it was my responsibility to move this forward, but I felt like I couldn't really speak the truth anymore and could say, this is clearly not working. This is not what the client needs. So I was in the structure where I was getting really frustrated. And I don't want to talk badly about this company, because I'm very grateful for many, many things, and it's really a fantastic company. But sometimes these constellations are really dangerous, and then they end up losing the consulting company and the client also a lot of money. And these and specifically one situation really led me to into kind of a burnout situation, which also was contributed by the fact that I was just doing way too much also in my private life. My marriage at the time was not going well. I was doing so many things that weren't serving me. I was not really taking care of my health. I was drinking too much alcohol, and just getting sort of distracted by so many things. And at some point, I just broke down. And fortunately, it wasn't that bad. So I had a little bit of time away from work, and then I picked it up again and was able to do this. But it was really my intention here to, and I've actually shared the story in my book as well. It's really my intention here to be almost have some ideas about like some warning signs, so that people do not end up in the same situation as I do, and avoid that by then taking all these steps that I then developed and later that led me now to this place where I'm in so much happier and so much more successful and so much more in a place where I know that what I'm doing having a positive impact. And this was really my intention here, to combine both the observations from these huge mega companies, which from the outside everybody thinks they're they're so efficient, they're so great, and I mean kudos to these companies. It's amazing to run this. However, and then combine it also with my personal experience of this journey and where I am now.
Thank you. What's next for you?
So I am building I've started a YouTube channel. This is where I share my insights around working like a warrior, and also my some of the business insights, which I'm focusing on next, to just a really broad audience. Yeah, this is basically my free content that I put out into the world, so that these things are understood. What drives me here is that we see I would say, especially in the Western societies, the Western democracies, there is, on the global stage, we really need to get our act together in some places, and especially here in Germany as well. So for me, this is something that if we follow more of these examples and we understand some of these concepts, we can create so much more benefit, so much more success, so much more economic results also for our countries, our democracies, and we can really strengthen our countries, because nothing lasts forever, and we have to be able to protect it. And we're in competition also with other countries, maybe authoritarian regimes. And this is really essential that we understand what is here the true work ethic, yeah, and how can it be also like serving us as well. It's not, and you can put it this way. I think many people look for fulfillment outside of work, but I argue you can actually find fulfillment in work, because work is essential, for survival as well. So there's a lot of things that are here combining, and for me, the next steps is I continue to build this content. I have the next book that I'm in the works, basically, where I focus more specifically on the business side, and because my first book is on the personal side, the next one is more focused on the business side. And I am looking for new consulting engagements, and also invitations for speaking, as an inspiration. So I'm open to that, and I'm building my connections in this area as well.
Thank you. Tell us 5 small steps, practical steps, that any entrepreneur can take right now to work like a warrior.
Right. So the first step is really to understand if you as an entrepreneur already have an idea of what you want to do. What is the idea of the business? Spend some time to really think about what is the really underlying value structure of yourself. What is the let's say the higher purpose that you're aiming for? Because it's very easy to just scratch the surface and say, hey, I want to start this business, and I will be doing this and that, and these are the products that I want to produce, or this is the services that I want to offer, and then people will be happy. But really spend some time to really think it through. What is it that your customers, your clients really benefit from this, and also benefit over maybe competitors' offers, so that you know what differentiates you and why you're doing it. And secondly, you need to understand how you are aligned with these goals as well. And what does it mean really? What does it really look that you're looking for? And ideally, you find a purpose, you find some kind of calling where you can relate it to a purpose that is beyond just making money. Because when you identify that, and when you're really clear about what your clients can actually achieve with the money that you're giving you, you're in a much better position to understand them, and then formulate your value proposition for your business. This is number one. Secondly, understand what are the behaviors that are not serving you. Are you're getting distracted? Are you not taking care of your physical needs? Is it, do you suffer from mood swings? Is this quite intense? Look at these things and get inspiration. There's so much out there, from Wim Hof to all kinds of yoga, mindfulness, meditation. It's really incredible. I do meditation. I do 30 minutes meditation every morning. And I was introduced by this through my burnout, actually. And this has really transformed my life. It's incredible. Yeah, you bring down your anxiety level so much more. You have so much more clarity of mind. So really this focus on groundedness is really important. The third step is, when you are clear about these 2 building blocks, and and this groundedness can also be a sacrifice. And you have to be able to make the right sacrifices. This is also what I cover in my book. This comes very, very early in this journey, because when you start a business, you will be aiming high and you will be committing a lot to it. But commitment also means sacrifice. You have to understand what you need to sacrifice. It might be other things that you like doing that you have to sacrifice for a while, or you have to do less of them. This was the same when I was writing my book, for example. Well, I love going out and meeting people. Well, I had to do less of that, because otherwise I could have never finished this book. So making the right sacrifices, this is number three. Really understand what that means, and only you can answer that question. A fourth step is you need to be authentic, and you need to really speak the truth and face the facts. Especially when it comes to your business decisions and who you're talking to. It's people can tell when we are not authentic. People can tell when we're not speaking the truth. So when you're not sure about how you want to communicate to potential business partners or to your clients or your customers, you spend more time working on this and practice it. Could be in front of the mirror, or you record yourself. I've only started recording my own videos 4 weeks ago, and it is tough. It's really tough in the beginning. You think, oh my God, I don't want to see myself on video. And I went through this forest here in Berlin just to get away from everything. And I literally had printed out pieces of paper, which I stuck to this tree and started reading off from, just to have these short form videos and get used to doing this. You need to do it, and this really, really helps. So being authentic and working on that. And the fifth step, I can only say the last chapter in my book is called "Be 100% Constructive." So whenever you discover setbacks, or whenever you receive criticism or feedback, all kind of things, either try to take something from it. Ask, either find out, okay, what could I do better, like specifically, because criticizing something, that's the easiest thing in the world. And I would actually say sometimes the biggest critics are the biggest cowards. But you have to be constructive. If you have to criticize something, be constructive. So do it for yourself. Look at how you're doing things, what are you doing, and how you could do it better. Ask for advice. Ask for people. Reach out to networks. Combine that, and then get honest advice. And people love giving advice. So go out there, ask them and say, in my situation, what would you recommend me do? Or how could I connect what I'm doing better to my customers? What is the value proposition? So reach out there, be 100% constructive, and learn from it, and then embody it.
Thank you so much. That was a fascinating interview. Where can people find you?
So for my consulting and business advisory services, LinkedIn is the best place to go. I'm there with my clear name, of course, Vincent Gressieker. My book is on Amazon. You will find it under Work Like a Warrior. It's on ebook or print on demand. And it's in all the major English-speaking countries, so it's very, very fast to your place. Then you can find my YouTube channel. Also, it's you can search by Work Like a Warrior or Vincent Gressieker. You will find it there, and I keep building content. I'm also on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. But when you go to YouTube, you will see the different links also to these platforms. And reach out to me. I'm happy to point you in the right direction for connections, for other pieces of advice, for this content that I'm creating, or other ideas. And if you're in a situation where you feel like you need to talk to someone who knows about integration, then reach out to me, and I'm happy to schedule a call.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.